Hello, 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 Christmas Flixers. Welcome back to season 4 of Chicks on Christmas Flicks, where we can never have too many Christmas movies. We can only have not enough Christmas movies. I'm KL Brady, and I am so glad to be back. We are deep in the thick of the first weekend of Countdown to Christmas, and I gotta tell you, I am loving it so far. I have missed my Christmas movies. Seriously. I cannot wait to get into the rest of the season. I can't wait to see how Hallmark really comes out of the gate swinging within the first month of Countdown to Christmas. So I'm looking forward to just chilling with you guys and giving you my take on how things are going, at least. All right, so first of all, we're going to start today off with what's coming up on Countdown to Christmas this coming week. That's the big thing. Like, I can't name every movie that's coming on, but I'm going to tell you my must watches for each day up until next Friday. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take a break, but after my break, I'm going to come back with my first 2 recap and reviews of Checkin' It Twice and Where Are You Christmas with Lindsay Fonseca, and Checkin' It Twice with Kevin McGarry. Yes, Kevin McGarry and Kim Matula. So I'm really excited to tell you guys about, my thoughts on those 2 movies. How did, Hallmark start? And, I have to say, how the past few years, at least since the pandemic, I will say, Hallmark's come out swinging. Usually, not usually, but over the past few years at least, the first movie of the year has ultimately been my favorite, or one of the first movies of the year, right? Maybe not the first weekend, but within the first 2 or 3 weekends, that's been my favorite. So, so will that happen this year? Well, I think we have a surprising candidate, and I will talk to you about that in a little bit. So anyway, this is the second part of my back-to-back shows. In the previous episode, I broke down the TV Christmas season with the remaining networks, right? So Hulu, Freevee, Roku, OWN, and Lifetime. I talked about that. And this week, I'm going to finish breaking down week 1 of Countdown to Christmas. And honestly, my week is going to be ridiculous. Unfortunately, so let me just tell you, successful party for my dad's 80th. I had most of his siblings in town for the weekend. Most of them, a couple of them are sick. So he has 5 siblings. There's 6 of them total. 4 out of 6 of them were here. 2 of them were away because they couldn't make it because they were sick and going through some other things. So, obviously my prayers are with them, but I was so glad to have those who could make it here. And then I had some cousins in. My brother came over with his kids, and I had a house full of people. So, and we had a lot of food, and we had cake, and it was nice. So anyway, I'm over that, but then I've got this insane week coming up at work. As a matter of fact, immediately after I finish this, I've got to go home and do some kind of work from home work. And then all next week, I have to be in the office all next week. So I really won't start getting my life back until next Friday. So next Friday, I will record the weekend, the preview of the upcoming week, and then I will also do a short episode on Sunday to do my recaps and reviews. Maybe Sunday or Monday. Yeah, probably Monday. That way I'll be able to get all 3 reviews in. Now today, obviously, I'm going to be missing Under the Christmas Sky, which is the new movie that comes out today on the Hallmark Channel, with one of my faves, Jessica Kennedy. But I will get to review that next week. So that will be part of my reviews next week. Okay. So anyway, let's get down to what we do on this show, which is first things first, St. Nick's shout outs. As always, I like to begin the show with the St. Nick shout outs. I don't have to tell you guys about the tradition. Most of you know. Well, for people who are new listening, I have a tradition. At the beginning of every show, I shout out 5 listener locations. I usually do a Christmas breakdown, like what is their Christmas tradition, what is a Christmas, thing that they do in that area. Today I am not going to do the full St. Nick shout out because on the previous episode I did a full St. Nick shout out, and so I didn't want to do that back to back, but next week will be the next St. Nick shout out. So any listeners that get in during the week, I could shout out your location next week. We'll see who's we'll see who's on the list. Anyway, so I'm giving some big love though to 5 listener locations. And remember, I don't know who you are, but I know where you live. All right. So this week's 5 St. Nick shoutouts. Number 1 belongs to Spring City, Pennsylvania. Spring City, Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for joining the show. Number 2 is Rahway, New Jersey. That's a new one. Like, I have not seen that area, that location listening. So thank you for listening in. Number 3 is Scottsville, New York. Scottsville, New York. Hey guys. I'm so glad you could join the show. That's a new one on me though. Scottsville, New York is a new one. As is the next 2, right? As are the next 2. Number 4, Hollywood, Florida. I don't think I've shouted you guys out on the show before. Hollywood, Florida. Thank you for joining the show. And number 5, rounding out the St. Nick shoutouts for this week, is Salcombe, Washington. Salcombe, Washington. Thank you guys for listening in. All right, so now it's time for ho 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 holiday headlines. So I really don't have a lot of news to share this week, apart from the fact that now all the everybody's kind of finalizing their Christmas movie slates for the year, and now we're getting like the big lists of all the movies, and I've pretty much covered most of the big ones. Hit the big ones on this show. We're still not heard from a few networks, so we'll see. As those come out, I will update you guys. But so far, you'll be glad to know that most of the networks that I've kind of given the shout out previews for, we've already covered. So that's kind of exciting. I'm glad we're on it. I'm glad I haven't missed that much news. And also, just keep an eye out for Hallmark drama, because every Friday, maybe, not I won't say every Friday or Saturday, you can catch maybe 1 or 2 Christmas movies on Hallmark drama. Classic Christmas movies, right? Now, what do I call a Christmas classic? My Christmas classics are like Winter Wonderland, All I Want for Christmas, Lucky Christmas, The Bridge 1 and 2, right? I love those. Christmas with Holly, oh my God, that's one of my favorites. Like, I never miss it. A Cookie Cutter Christmas, love it. The North Pole movies, I love those. The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. Now they do play that on Hallmark Channel still, so that's great. Well, it's a good classic when they still play it. It's Christmas Carol. You remember that one? That was kind of the Christmas Carol movie, but Christmas Carol was the woman, and she was like wicked. Yeah. So yeah, that's like one of my favorite movies, but you rarely see that. So just a shout out on if we're doing Christmas classics on Hallmark drama, anybody out there from Hallmark listening, hey, let's get another weekend out there where we can do this stuff. I know you don't want to pull attention away from your your new content. So maybe like at the end of the season, right? Maybe the last week of Christmas, the week after Christmas. Maybe we could do another classic weekend. I don't know, but I'm just putting that out there. Those are the things we also want to see. All right. Anyway, so now let's get into week one, right? Let's get into what's going on for week one. So I'll start with today, because, I'm going to put this out today. I'm going to get it out. Today is Sunday. I'm going to get out, hell or high water at some point today. So, another great day of movies. I have a handful that are must watches, like I said, and those are the ones I'm going to cover for this episode. Okay. And let's just keep in mind, I've seen them all before, except the like new ones, like Under the Christmas Sky, which comes out today, at the 8 o'clock show. But the rest of them are ones I have seen before, but I will watch a million times over and over and over again. Okay. So, coming up, The Unexpected Christmas with Tyler Hynes and Bethany Joy Lenz. That's kind of one of those bad breakup stories. Kind of fate and forces kind of bring them together, and they're forced to spend Christmas together. I love, An Unexpected Christmas is one of my favorites. This is a new favorite. A Veteran's Christmas comes on today. Eloise Mumford and Sean Ferris. After I saw those guys in Christmas with Holly, I was like, these two have so much chemistry. You would think they had that much chemistry, they would be a couple, but she's with another one of our favorites from Hallmark. So, I'll cut her some slack with not dating Sean Ferris. Sean may be married for all I know. I don't know his history, but they do have good chemistry on screen. But so I want to say it's like 5 years after A Christmas with Holly that they came out with A Veteran's Christmas. And it was just so great to see them in a movie again. She was just like recently discharged from the military, the Marine Corps, and she ends up stranded in this town and staying in this guest house of this judge, and this judge finds out that she had to leave her service, her dog, her military dog, in service while she separated. So, and she's really sad about it. She's like, I'm sad. I understand. I have a tiger, my sweet boy. I would be so depressed if, I raised him and then I had to leave him. Like, if somebody asked me to leave him, like, I would steal a 200-pound dog. Do you understand me? I have a 200-pound dog. I don't care how I would have to. I would dress him up, put him in a box or something with some holes and obviously some treats and stuff. I would wheel him out of there. Like, there's no way I could leave my baby. So I completely understand her sadness in that movie. So, so that's kind of funny. The next one, Monday. Okay, so coming up Monday, tomorrow, is my Christmas family tree with Amy Teagard. We know she's one of my faves, like one of my faves, like new faves, because she's only been in the movies, I say, the past few years. But anyway, I love this one. Take Me Back for Christmas, which I did not think I was going to like as much as I did. I love it. With Vanessa, I think her name is Lengies. Love that movie. It's tough for me to watch because there's the relationship with the mother who's passed away and all of that. That's kind of covered in that movie. So that's a tough one for me to watch, but I actually love it, and I think she pulls off the comedy in that movie really well. So Take Me Back for Christmas is one that I'll definitely watch. Jolly Good Christmas with Will Kemp. Come on, man. Will Kemp. And then the woman who plays, I can't remember her name. I can't recall her name. But I know she played in, it's called a Royal can't remember what it was. It was like a TV series. Like I didn't even know. Like I didn't even put two and two. Like I used to watch the series. It was on USA, but then I did not even put it that she was the actress in that series. She was a doctor in this series. Like, I can't remember the full name of it. Anyway, you guys know how my brain is. Sometimes I remember stuff. If I remember, eventually I'll put it in the show notes so you guys aren't like hanging. Like, what is she talking about? All right. And then, now, and then after Jolly Good Christmas, that comes on at 8. So there's a 10 o'clock show, and it's on Hallmark and Hallmark and Mysteries. It's kind of a tie, and I may get to watch one or the other of these. I'm not sure which one. I'll probably go for A Fabled Holiday with Brooke D'Orsay and Ryan Pavey, because I love Ryan. I love Brooke too, but I love Ryan. But on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries is North Pole Open for Business with Lori Loughlin, right? So she's on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. So you get to make your choice between those two. I think for me it's going to be A Fabled Holiday. Okay. Now, Tuesday, another day absolutely packed with great movies. I am so bitter. Let me tell you, I can't even tell you the bitterness I feel that I have to be in the office and I will not be home and able to at least listen from my office to the other room of the Christmas movies, and then run. Like what I do is I listen. I have my TV on. I have the volume on kind of high, except for when I'm in meetings. I have to be on calls or whatever. But I'll listen. And when I hear a scene from a movie come up, I'll run into there, watch the scene, and then I'll run back into my office. I cannot do that this time. I can't even do it because you can't even pull that stuff up in my office building. It's so I won't, it's not going to be a fun time for me. But for you, I want to make sure that you know what to watch. So I do this for you. Okay, so Tuesday, I have 4 movies are must-watch movies. One is The Most Wonderful Time of the Year, which I just told you about. Christmas classic, right? And a Christmas list. It's not a Christmas list. It's just Christmas list. You guys remember that one with Alicia Witt, right? Love that movie. So 2 classics. Those are 2 movies that should be on the classics list, right? If you don't see them, it's not really Countdown for Christmas. You've not really seen the right Christmas movies if you haven't seen those, right? Then at 6 p.m., Ghost of Christmas Always. You know how much I love Kim Matula now from that movie. But that movie was phenomenal. It was one of the best movies that Hallmark's done in years. So I love it. One of my faves from the season. I think it was last season, right? One of my faves from last season. And it's one of those can't miss for me. I might be able to make that. That's a 6 p.m. show. If I'm in the office early enough, I might be able to get out by 5 so I can get so that I can get back by 6 so that I can watch that. At 8 p.m. on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, a new favorite that came out last year, We Need a Little Christmas with Erica Durance and Lynn Whitfield. That one's a bit of a tearjerker, but I still may watch it. And then what comes on at 10 is one of my favorites, my number one from 2020, and that is On the 12th Date of Christmas with Mallory Jansen and Tyler Hines. Now, I told you guys back in 2020, I said, Mallory's going to be a new one, the up and coming for Hallmark at the time, and, she's been on several movies since then. I love her, period. I haven't really seen her name attached to anything for this season, which saddens me, but maybe she'll come back in the spring. Okay, so that's Tuesday. So Wednesday, another day packed with Christmas goodness, some classics, some Christmas classics, some new classics, and some old classics. Okay, So Wednesday, I got 5 picks for you. Okay, Christmas Joy with Danielle Panabaker. One of my favorites. That is a classic. That is one that I must see every season, or it is not the Christmas season for me. Another one, A Godwin Christmas, comes on at 8 a.m. with Kimberly Seston and Paul Campbell. You guys know how good that movie is. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we got to have that one, right? So, I don't know. I don't even have that on DVR, but like I watch it every time it comes on TV. But because I can't watch it, I may put it on DVR just so that I can watch it when I come home. Home for Christmas Day, The Tearjerker with Catherine Bell and Victor Webster. Oh my goodness. And we know Catherine Bell from The Good Witch. And we know Victor Webster because he's like hunka hunka burn of love from everything. And so that comes on Wednesday. And then we have Christmas at the Golden Dragon. That is a Hallmark. That's like a kind of a new Hallmark classic. I actually like that one. Like, I really love the family drama of that one. Centered around the restaurant and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's a new classic for me. It's a new classic. And last but not least, on Wednesday is A Christmas Melody with Lacey Chabert and Brennan Elliott. So, and we love that pairing, right? We love Lacey and Brennan together. And A Christmas Melody, I love it. Mariah Carey's in that one, where she plays she plays a diva, what she basically is in real life, but she plays it in a Hallmark movie. So that's kind of fun. And then on Thursday, we have 5. I've got 5 picks for Thursday. Sleigh Bells Ring with Aaron Cahill and David Alpay, right? I love Aaron in just about everything, right? And I love David Alpay. And you know which one I would consider a classic that they don't play enough is The Mistletoe Inn. Like, that's a classic for me. I love that movie. I don't see it enough, right? So please play that more. But when I do see it, it's on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. Maybe it'll pop up there. Maybe it'll pop up on Hallmark Drama. But anyway, I love this movie. This is kind of another one of those kind of bad breakup movies where we parted. We had a total misunderstanding and split up. Now we're back together. Fate has brought us back together under strange circumstances, and we've kind of got to deal with our present. So I really like that one. I like that one a lot. So guess what? Thursday, there is a new movie that comes on. I think this is Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. This is Mrs. Christmas Comes to Town, right? And this one has Erica Durance, Brennan Elliott, and Barbara Niven. Now, you've probably seen the trailer for this. Like, I've seen this previews for this movie like a gazillion times, and it looks like it's going to be like somewhat of a tearjerker, right? But the premise of the movie is that a shopping channel host goes on a multi-city excursion to spread holiday cheer before her farewell broadcast, right? And we see her, like, she names Erica Durance as her successor. So, I mean, that's just in the commercial. Like, I'm not giving anything away there that Hallmark hasn't given away. So that's a good one. I'm looking forward to. I will definitely be catching that. I should be home in time. That's at 8 o'clock. And then, Where Are You Christmas replays that day. And The Christmas Promise with Tori DeVito, right? That's a tearjerker. Like a serious, not even a jerker, more like a tear yanker, right? It's like it's going to get it out of you, whether you want it to go or not. And then Friday. Okay, so what comes up Friday is 5 favorites. And these are truly favorites. I think I will be home to see most of them. At 2 a.m., Christmas Connection. Now I have that on my DVR, so I can watch that anytime I want to. But Christmas Connection with Brooke Burns and Tom Everett Scott. Now, I love both of them. If you've ever seen That Thing You Do, the movie, like, that's where I fell in love with Tom Everett Scott, and like, I've watched him in everything since, and I've loved him in everything since. So he might have been in stuff before then, but that's where I remember him from. Then The 9 Kittens of Christmas with Kimberly Susted and Brandon Routh, right? Which is the follow-up to The 9 Lives of Christmas. So, of course, we're going to watch that, right? Then, The Christmas Waltz with Lacey Chabert and Will Kemp. Now, what I've heard this season is that the sequel to this, so the writers went to another network, GAC, and wrote the sequel for Jen Lilly, I think, and somebody else. I can't remember who is. I don't care. For me, it's like I love the original so much. Sometimes when the original is so good, like you'll be disappointed by I'm gonna probably avoid watching that no matter what, because I think I will be disappointed by the sequel, because to me it's just nothing can match that chemistry that Will Kemp and Lacey Chabert have. Just facts, at least for me. So at noon we have The 9 Lives of Christmas. The 9 Lives of Christmas. So they're playing The 9 Kittens of Christmas and The 9 Lives of Christmas on the same day. Also on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, they have Holly and Ivy with Janelle Parrish and Jeremy Jordan. This is on Friday, guys. Listen to me. Friday is the day, right? Then another one of my favorites is The Christmas Secret with Bethany Lenz and John Reardon. Now, we know Bethany Lenz is like my best friend, my best Christmas friend in my head. And John Reardon, he was in I'll Be Home for Christmas. You remember that? With James Brolin? Like, I loved him in that. I think I really got to love him in The Christmas Secret first, and then I'll Be Home for Christmas came out after that. I think that's the order. But regardless, I love him in both of them. Like, he plays really good characters. I like him. So that is coming. Okay, The Christmas Secret, that's a Christmas classic. Like, if you haven't seen that, you like, either you're like 13 or your head's been in your butt like for the last umpteen years, right? That's a Christmas classic. And then new is Christmas by Design. Christmas by Design with Rebecca Dalton and Jonathan Keltz, right? A fashion designer joins a Christmas challenge to create a new holiday-themed collection. I have started seeing the previews for this one. That looks like it's going to be good, and it looks like it's going to be funny, and of course it's going to be romantic. So I'm excited to watch that one. And then on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, you've got a back-to-back with Nikki DeLoach, who now I've made up with. But she and I were on the outs for a little while. Not that I know her in any way, shape, or form, but it was just one of the movies she created. We all know which one I had a struggle with. Christmas Land. I don't know if you saw that, but I had a struggle with that. But because she was willed some land and she just sold it. Like, you don't sell your family land, right? I own family land and I get so many offers every week. I get offers and I do not sell my land. You don't sell your land. So I had an issue with that when she sold her land so willy-nilly in Christmas Land. Like, that was a problem for me. But personal feelings aside, I got over it, and now I love Nikki DeLoach and just about everything she does. So she did A Dream of Christmas. We remember that one, where she loses her memory and she's with Andrew Walker in that movie. And then she did The Gift of Peace on Hallmark. Now, I admit, I have not seen that one. That was another one of those movies that looked too sad for me, but I will probably actually watch it this Friday. Okay? I will probably actually watch it for real. All right? So, I am going to take a quick break, but I will be back with the reviews and recaps for Checking It Twice and Where Are You Christmas. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
Now available for pre-order, are you looking for the perfect romantic comedy to help you find your calling and renew your faith in Christmas magic this holiday season? Look no further than The Nick Before Christmas, a heartwarming story about one woman's journey to her second act and back to her first love. Nikki Wright is ready to celebrate the big 5-0 for Christmas in July, but a hot flash leads her to a sobering realization. Her life has hit rock bottom. Her successes, the home and the car, feel empty. Her vision board has been a waste of time, her job is unfulfilling, and she's mulling over a proposal from Smith, who she's certain she doesn't like. The best day of her life spirals into the worst. During a near-death experience, a meeting with her guardian angel presents Nikki with an ultimatum. Either go to heaven or return to Earth and find her second act by Christmas Eve. If she doesn't succeed, her future's bleak. Her life will be filled with days no better than the worst. With only a few months to make her dreams come true, can Nikki achieve her second act and rekindle an old flame with Jordan to have the Christmas of her dreams? The Nick Before Christmas delivers unforgettable moments of self-discovery and romance. It's an enchanting story of love, hope, and faith that will fill your heart with joy this Christmas season.
And we are back. In the previous episode, I broke down what's coming up on Countdown to Christmas for the next week, up until Friday when I get home and I'll be able to do another show. Now I am going to get into the reviews, my recaps and reviews for Checking It Twice and for Where Are You Christmas. Now, I gotta tell you guys, I was actually kind of surprised by how things ended up, let's say, between these two movies. So, in Checking It Twice, NHL Legacy, basically he's, Kevin McGarry plays this NHL Legacy, right? His father was like this big NHL star, and like he's been kind of living in his father's shadow, right? But like when you live in somebody's shadow and like you feel like you've got to prove something to be your own man, and you've got to be your own person, you've got to prove that outside of this relationship you're just as good as they are, or you're just as good a person, and you kind of tie your self-worth to what somebody else is doing, which is always a problem, right? Like, I feel like if everybody just kind of stays in their own lane, right, and you only kind of compare yourself against what you did before instead of what other people are doing, like you will never have that confusion, you will never feel that self-doubt and all that. I'm guilty of it as anyone, although I'm not guilty of it in the age I am now, probably when I was younger, right? But anyway, so that's kind of where Kevin's character is, right? And then so he's always feel like he's got something to prove. And then actually when I looked at Kim Matula's character, she's a commercial real estate developer. She's kind of making it in the big city. She comes home, returns home to Idaho Falls, right? I think it is. And she's working with her boyfriend in her business, which I don't know. Maybe that's a mistake most of the time to work with the person, to kind of make your money with the same person that you're in love with. But anyway, so kind of a mistake there, I think. But she gets home, she's thinking he's handling business on her behalf. He ends up stealing one of her clients and, ends up being this jerk. And apparently this is like a this is a cycle for her, right? She's always thinking, this is somebody great, I'm wonderful, tells her family about them, they're all wonderful, she's bringing them home, and then, something happens and they show their butt. So not much different going on here. But what I really found interesting about the story, right, is that she kind of felt like she had something to prove, right? Her parents put her through school. She left small town for the big city to become this big thing, right? And because her family and her parents have invested so much in her, she feels like she's got to be something. And that this something is this commercial real estate developer and successful and all of this stuff, right? But she feels like she's got something to prove to them, right? That she's made the right choices, that she's successful, and that she's coming back home, and that she's what everybody thought she was going to be. But of course, she breaks up with the boyfriend, business is in question, and everything's up. It's just a lot of upheaval, right? So there's upheaval with her, there's a upheaval with Kevin. They're both in the same place, even though they don't realize it, right? Both of them feel like they've got something to prove, right? I don't think Kim's character ever really comes across as realizing, hey, we're in the same place, and neither does Kevin, but they really kind of are in the same place. So the question is, ultimately, will both of them realize that they have nothing else to prove, right? Will she realize that she's got nothing to prove, and will he realize he's got nothing to prove, and that they could just be the people that they were meant to be? So that's kind of that's for me, that's the premise. That's kind of the deep emotional piece of it that I kind of walked away from it of the movie with. The chemistry was great, right? The chemistry between Kim and Kevin, great. It had a hilarious eggnog scene. I'll just leave it at that. Laugh out loud, like I laughed out loud, funny, and startled my father a little bit. And I've got to say, like Kim Matula, to me, killed it in A Ghost of Christmas Present, right? That's kind of tongue-in-cheek, right? But she killed it as the Ghost of Christmas Present and the Ghost of Christmas Always, right? So when I see her in a movie, I'm like, is she playing a ghost? I mean, when you've played a character so well that everyone expects you to kind of play that same character every time you play a movie, that was me, right? I know that she's not supposed to do that, but that's, I want to see the ghost again because she was so good at it, right? I can't unsee her in that role, but even as this character, like, she did really well, and she did really well with Kevin. And I think, this is kind of Kevin's role, although, I really kind of like how he had it rough. Like, he had it so difficult at the start, and that he's come to this small town to be on this, like, it's like the kind of like a junior league, right? It's not the big time. It's not the big time NHL. And he wants to go to the NHL, and this is kind of a stepping stone. But he realizes he's got to be a part of the town. He's got to be a part of the team. And in doing that, he kind of discovers something about himself. So anyway, what I will say is that I really liked this movie, like a lot more than I thought. I actually did not think I was going to like it at all. And my plan was to go into this mentally. I was thinking, I'm not going to like this movie. And I absolutely loved it. So I give it 4.5 Christmas trees. That's how good it was for me. Like, this could be the movie at the end of the season where it was shockingly good, and it ends up being one of my favorites for the season. Like, this could be that movie. This could be that movie. I know. Shock to all, right? All right. So, like I said, Homer's kind of been kicking butt with some of the movie faves, right? They usually, I mean, over the past few years, they've been like the first 2 or 3 weekends of the season. I'll see my absolute favorite movie of the year. So they've been showing their good stuff up front, where years ago it used to be kind of a gradual thing, like after Thanksgiving they would really get into the good movies. No, you can't bank on that now though. Like, it's good movies all the time, so like I can't miss, which is good. It's good for them, it's good for me. Okay, so the next movie is Where Are You Christmas? It was starring Lindsay Fonseca and Michael Brady. Now, let me start with this. I love both of them, right? I've always talked about Michael Brady. I love practically everything he's done. He's done a lot of Christmas movies for Hallmark, and I absolutely love him and just about everything he's done. No, not just about, in everything. I can't think of one bad movie where I've seen him and I was like, I'm so disappointed with his performance. Never. It hasn't happened. I don't expect it to. Lindsay Fonseca obviously is relatively new, right? So I've seen her, I want to say this is like the third one that I've seen her in on Hallmark. Next Stop Christmas, though, was my absolute favorite. So to me, Lindsay plays this very credible character. She's very credible and very believable in those kind of alternate reality time travel kind of ditties, right? Where she's kind of shockingly somewhere she's not supposed to be. Like, to me, she plays that so well and it's so natural. And so that's why I really had high hopes for this movie. When I went in thinking she's gonna play it like Next Stop Christmas, right? Were my expectations too high when I went in? Did she meet them? So I'll talk about that in a minute. So in Where Are You Christmas, she plays this woman who's lost her Christmas spirit, right? And then loses literally her color. The movie goes from color to black and white, right? And then Michael Brady is the guy, right? He's this mechanic. Not only does he help her fix her car, but he ultimately is kind of the guy who's supposed to help her fix her spirit too, right? I gotta say, I wanted to love this. I went in with 5 Christmas trees in my mind because I was like, she's gonna kill this. And I would say this movie for me was maybe about a 4. And I will say, I don't think it is either Michael Brady's fault or Lindsay's fault. I think part of it was just how it was written in the script for me, right? So here's the thing I realized after turning over my head. I was like, why did you have an issue with this? What I had an issue with is, okay, so she kind of wishes Christmas never existed, and then for a while Christmas doesn't exist, right? And so everything loses its color. As people get their color back, as people start to remember Christmas, they say, I remember Christmas every single time. You don't have to say it. You've already established the pattern as people get their color back, right? So if we, the audience, see somebody get their color back, we know Christmas has come back for them, right? Just let them act the scene. You don't have to have this revelation that Christmas is back. We see it. We see the color change and we see them. Just let them act through the scenes. You don't have to have the revelation every single time for every single character. So that was the issue that I had. And every time they did that revelation, I remember Christmas. It threw me completely out of the movie, right? Now, that is not Lindsay's fault, and that's not Michael's fault. That's not any cast member's fault. Like, I blame the writers. I'm a writer, blaming the writer, but I blame not for most of the movie was really good, and I like the idea of losing the color when you lose the season and all of that kind of stuff. But when you bring the color back, just let them act through the scene. You you don't have to have the revelation every single time. You could have the revelation once. We understand what it means. You've defined it. You've defined it up front. And then when we see it again, we know, right? You don't have to repeat that. So I think that was the big issue that I had. So for me, like I said, I don't know. Other people may have different thoughts. But apart from that, like, I really enjoyed the movie. I loved the cast. I thought they were great. Of course, I love Lindsay. And like I said, I love Michael Brady. Like, they could do no wrong. And it wasn't their acting. Like, I can't even say, oh, it was bad acting. No, it was not bad acting. It was just great acting, right? It was the revelation scenes where they were like, I remember Christmas. I was like, really? This is getting kind of absurd. I loved how they remembered, right? I loved how they remembered the little pieces of Christmas that made it come back for them, right? I love that. I love that part, but you don't have to have the I remember Christmas piece back. Like, that part drove me kind of nuts. And that is the piece that if I could pull it out the movie, I think you would have a brilliant movie without those things in there. And it would have been an easy 5. But because you had those like 13,000 revelations of the thing that we knew when the color changed that, that had happened, that, well, anyway, so that's how come that rating ended up being that rating, right? But otherwise, I love the movie. So would I recommend it? Like, I feel like you've got to watch it at least once, and then after that, you can kind of make up the decision for yourself. Is this going to be one that, like, I feel like I got to keep on my DVR because it's on my DVR right now? No. Next Stop Christmas is on my DVR, and I watch it all the time. So, it is what it is. Okay. So anyway, that is it for this week. I didn't have a whole lot for this week because, the Christmas movie season hasn't really kicked in for the other networks that I watch, right? So we're not going to be seeing Up TV starts November 3rd. I've got to tell you guys, right? They've got 2 Christmas classics that I love on Up TV starting November 4th. That Saturday, 2 Christmas classics, but I'm going to tell you guys more about what's coming up on Up TV for that first weekend next week, at the end of next weekend, right, for episode 6. But I'm just going to give you a heads up. Boyfriend for Christmas, which used to play on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries and used to be on Hallmark Channel, now is on Up TV. They're going to have that on November 4th. And then one of my all-time favorites, it stands the test of time no matter what, against my favorites. And it has been for years. I think it was made in 2016. And it's 7 years later, and it's still one of my favorites. So that tells you it stands the test of time. It's Season's Greetings. Comes on November 4th. I'm so excited for both of those. So, stay tuned for next week. I'm going to give you the recap for next week, the previews for what's coming up the following week. Under the Christmas Sky, you'll get to review for that. And then on that Sunday, I will do my reviews for next week's movies, okay? And I'll kind of get on a better schedule. But, I got to be I got to be in the office. So, that's how that goes. Anyway, I'm so excited, but keep an eye out for the Daily Top 3. I am still going to have my Daily Top 3 on Twitter and Instagram every single day, no matter what. And just stay tuned because I've got so much more going on this season. I'm so excited. So thank you to my music and show editor, Will B. He created all the custom music for this show. He's at Wildcard Music, and you can find his IG page down in the show notes. Until next time, remember, at Chicks on Christmas Flicks, we can never have too many Christmas movies. We can only have not enough Christmas movies. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave a review on your favorite platform, and tell your Christmas movie loving friends about this show. Where can you find us? I'm so happy you asked. We're on all the podcast platforms: Amazon, Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, and many, many more. There is a link in the show notes. You can find us wherever you listen, okay? Follow us on Twitter, Chicks on Christmas Flicks with all X's, and on IG, Chicks on Christmas Flicks with all X's. Thank you for listening, and I can't wait to talk to you guys next week.